Well, good morning, our beloveds. We are moving on to our March 2026 message. Where do you find yourselves today on the first day of March? Tune into your body, your somatic body. Where do you have aches and pains? Where do you have feelings or sensations? Where do you feel like you maybe pulled a muscle? Where do you feel stiff? Where do you feel flow? Where does everything feel good? Your body is a roadmap for what is working and what isn't. We will not get into the specifics. You can Google that and find other people's explanations and perceptions. You find what works for you. But today, it is simply for you to notice what is working and what is not. What is chronic and what is new. Where have your thoughts changed in recent times? Where have you had traumatic experiences? Where have you had growth opportunities, meaning that the universe presented you with a difficulty, a chaos of sorts? How did you handle it? Did you go into fight or flight? How long did you stay there? And then what got you to move out into solution-oriented thinking? When we are stuck in the amygdala, we are in fight or flight, crises. When we move from the amygdala back to the prefrontal cortex, the executive thinking, what we call the thinky part of you, you move into solutions, consequences. You can say, if I do this, I might experience that consequence. Whereas consequences don't really exist in the amygdala because the house is on fire and you are running out to what you perceive as safety, but you don't rationally, logically, preparedly think through what the decision-making process entails. This decision increases the likelihood of that consequence, which could be good or bad. Flight to safety is simply that. Flight away from danger. So this month we will really focus on where do you have skills, where are they still lacking, and what are some ideas and thoughts that you can engage in to help you to figure it out. And this is our advice to you. Our Another Live This as well, though it's a little different for everyone. When you have a chaotic moment arise, something fearful, something terrifying, the first thing is, and this is the most important, sit with your feeling, response, emotion, thought, considerations. Whatever dumps into your body, notice it. Notice where it lands, which part of your body is activated, and maybe even why. Why? Oh, I think that's fear. I think that's anger. I think that's regret, right? There are lots of reasons why chaos can arise because it is either a moment or a consequence from a prior moment, right? So sit with what you are feeling and do try to label in one word what it is that you are feeling, not thinking. Very important. You don't say, I am angry. You just say, anger. It separates you from the sensation. Next, recognize and feel what your first thought is. What is your first thought? Oh my God, I don't know what to do. Or, okay, let's put the thinking hat on. I think I can do this. That will tell you whether your amygdala or your prefrontal cortex, or maybe even your hippocampus, is engaged. Another is learning more of the terminology now so we can help her to channel more successfully. The point is, when chaos arrives on your doorstep, what is your first thought? Does your system get overwhelmed where you want to fight, flight, flee, or fawn? Or shut down? That is where the entire body just gives up. Those are the 5 options within the definition of what is available right now will present itself. And then just notice it. Notice what your internal response is. And it's not uniform and consistent. One type of a chaotic experience may generate a very different response than a different one. Who the person is or what it is will impact you greatly, because you will assess within the range of options what your best response is in that moment, depending upon how the danger presents itself to you. So just be mindful. Keep a log if you wish. When you argue with somebody, why is it with one person you shut down and the other person you get argumentative, right? Because each person represents a different danger to your nervous system. If you have a car accident and you own your own car and you pay your own insurance, that kind of stuff. If you have a car accident, your response will be very different than if you are married to an abusive partner or you are a child and your parent still maintains this. The outside factors do impact how you quickly assess what the reality is of the circumstance. So just notice it. Don't overthink it, but just notice it. Why you react or respond in a particular way, given what the outside characteristics are. Next, see if you can set aside whatever coping mechanism that you have that is less than ideal and move into your prefrontal cortex, which is, okay, let's do a danger assessment. Let's do a reality assessment. What are the facts that we know right now, X, Y, and Z? What are some options that are available? Who can we reach out to assist in this process? Not from a place of fear, but curiosity. Okay, let's see. How can we get through this without losing our minds? And then lastly, and this is the most important, step into the action mode. Step into it and begin to problem solve in a healthy and mechanistic way. If you were a computer with no emotions, how would you work through this? Don't allow your emotions right now to override. You can deal with that later. You've acknowledged where it was felt in your body. You looked at, okay, this is my internal response. Oh my goodness, I now really realize I prefer flight over fight, or whatever it is that you determine. Then you go into, okay, let's do some deep breathing. Let's ground ourselves. What are realistic options? Go into curiosity mode. Figuring out if an outsider were to come in, what would be the realistic options that they would advise that you pursue or consider, given that they are not emotionally attached to you, the situation, or the outcome. And then lastly, begin to work through them. You will be amazed at how taking action in itself helps to heal your nervous system, because it reminds you that you are not a victim of your circumstance as much as an agent of action, of prosperity, of protection, of placement. When you realize that you have more agency than you have given yourself credit for, when you step back into action mode that is grounded in science and reality instead of fear-based conjecture, you will generate better outcomes. And then when the entire cycle has been completed, we want you then to look at what worked well and what didn't. Just reassess your process. See where you could do it differently next time. And then just gently remind yourself, I did this. I did this really well. Be proud of yourself. Give yourself pats on the back. And then say, and next time, I think I want to improve this. This is no different than cooking a recipe for the first time. It may taste great. It may not. But what you always do is say, oh, I think I want to add a little bit more salt, a little bit more citrus. I need a little bit more savory, right? You adjust the recipe, the ingredients, the process, the path, until it is exactly what your palate desires. So it's not self-criticism. Oh, that wasn't good enough. That tasted awful. You say, that was really good for a first try. But next time I think I would prefer, right? Gentle replacement of what you think you can do better next time without any judgment or harsh criticism to self. And if you do criticize yourselves, which some are want to do, notice where that comes from. Who taught you that it was okay to talk to yourself that way? Because it's not. When you're doing the best that you can, tell yourself that I'm doing the best that I can, but I know that there's always an opportunity or a chance for improvement. And when those are not your first words or thoughts, notice it, observe it, see if it comes from some point in the past, and then just prepare to practice this again when another crisis or chaotic moment arrives. When your stress levels increase dramatically in a moment. And in this journey of acknowledging that we are just simply in life to go through one chaotic moment to another, how do we prepare for the next one without going totally overboard? And where do we say we've got this? Being prepared for what life brings you is important, especially during these times. So let's build some resiliency by practicing these skills intentionally with thought, consideration of what you are doing and why, and how you can improve upon this system called you. There is no judgment, there is no shame, only love and admiration for your ability to have stayed alive as many days as you have been alive up to now. And then being gracious about how you and others move through life. This is a time of revelation and not retribution. And so it is. Namaste.